What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today we're talking about releases. Alright, so I have the 6 releases sitting out here on my workbench. Let's just go through them real quick and tell you which ones they are. I have the Scott Wildcat 2 index release. I have the Spot Hogg Whippersnapper thumb release, the Tru Ball Boss X thumb release, the Nock-On Nock thumb release, the UltraView Hinge 2 hinge release, and the Carter Evolution 20 back tension release. So I've got these 6 different releases today. We're going to shoot all 6 of them. I'm going to shoot them pretty extensively. I got index, back tension, thumb releases, the whole gambit. I'm going to get some notes on how it feels on the draw, how it feels at anchor, how it feels on the shot, things like that. And I'm just going to take some notes on my phone, and I'm going to compare those notes afterwards. I'm not really narrowing it down to which one is my favorite or which one I hate or anything like that. But I will say that out of these releases, there's a couple that I have that I'm really not a fan of, and there's a couple that I have that are my absolute favorites. So without further ado, let's head outside. All right, I've got my bag target all set up down here on the end, so we'll go ahead and jump into this. The first one we're going to do is the Scott Wildcat 2 index finger release. I've had this release the longest. I started out with index releases when I was a big trigger puncher, and you know, obviously I think a lot of people start out with index finger releases, so this one has been in my arsenal the longest. Let's give her a go. I'm shooting these today out of my Bowtech Revolt X. It's a 30-inch draw and a 70-pound draw. I haven't put a wrist strap and index release on in a while, so it's bringing back memories from when I first started, so it feels pretty good. So let's see how this goes. All right, anchor feels pretty good. Obviously the draw is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it's still very, very easy to be able to punch this trigger, but just pulling through, like putting my finger over the trigger and kind of pulling backwards and letting the shot surprise me, still works out pretty good for an index. All right, the next release we're going to do is the Spot Hogg Whippersnapper. So this one is adjustable, however my adjustment screw in the back is kind of stripped out. It's been stripped out from brand new, and this thing is like a hair trigger. This one kind of scares me using. It kind of scares me using this release, but we'll see how it goes. I'm a big fan of the forefinger that this has. Feels like it adds quite a bit of extra stability, and it is just the Talon hook hook style. It's not like a dual caliber. Yeah, that forefinger draw really adds nice stability and security on that draw. Ooh, yeah, see, that's a hair trigger. I had barely rested my thumb on that trigger and it took off. So I'm not really all that big of a fan of the Spot Hogg Whippersnapper. All right, the next one is going to be the Tru Ball Boss X. This used to be, they don't make this anymore. They've replaced it with a couple different models I think now, but this is probably the second longest one I've had in my arsenal of releases. This is really one of my top releases. I'm a big fan of this one. Again, same four finger draw, and then it's got a dual caliber, but the head swivels on this one. So I really like this one because it doesn't add any extra torque or anything to the D loop. So let's give this one a whirl. Yeah, again, same security on that forefinger. I really like being able to do the forefinger pull, and yeah, you just let it surprise you. It's very easy. I can wrap my thumb pretty far around this trigger, and so when I do pull, I just kind of, when I'm dropping my elbow and coming back a little bit, it makes it fire. So it's a really nice release. I'm still a big fan of that. All right, next up, we've got the Nock-On Nock to it. It's a 3-finger with the finger hole. Real big thumb barrel. I used to use this release quite a bit last year, and just kind of transitioned away from it a little bit, but still very, very, very good release. The draw feels fine. You know, there's not that same security because it is only the 3-finger, but it still feels pretty good. Nice big thumb barrel, and then if we just kind of rotate our elbow and everything backwards with our thumb over that thumb barrel, it's very easy to still surprise. Again, I like how it really can sit pretty deep down into that thumb crease, so that when I'm just I just put my thumb on there and add just a little bit of tension, and then rotating backwards activates that trigger. So still a very nice release. All right, and the next one is probably the one I hate the most, is going to be the UltraView Hinge 2. Now, I don't hate this release because of the quality. This release is top quality built. It is very, very nice, feels extremely good in the hand. It's a very quality built release. My problem is the actual hinge mechanism. I'm still having real trouble trying to figure this release out in order to get it to activate properly. There is 2 different moons in there, one for the click, one for the fire. I do have the click and the fire. I find myself flinching pretty hard when it goes through that click. So I'm not a fan of this one yet, but I'm not giving up on it yet. I'll still do some practice with it, but for right now, it is definitely not on my list of ones that I would shoot very often. And so I'm not quite in my anchor yet. And the way I have these set is that when I come to my anchor, it should click. Okay, so I'm at my anchor. Push and pull, push and pull, push and pull. Yeah, it's just, it's got a nice clean break when it does break, and it absolutely surprises the crap out of me every time it does, but I don't know. I'm not sold yet. So still need to do some more work with the UltraView Hinge 2. All right, and the last release is the Carter Evolution 20. So this Carter Evolution 20 is a back tension. So you hold the safety down, you draw back, you release the safety, and then as you continue to pull backwards, that extra added weight inside there compresses the spring inside there, which makes it fire. It's a completely adjustable, and the biggest thing about this that I need to remember is that I have to hold the safety anytime I'm drawing backwards. So that's the one that kind of became, I had to get used to that real quick, but once I actually got used to it, so safety is off, and then you just continue to pull through. Yeah, see, I have it set at too much tension right now for this bow. This is the Bowtech Revolt X, and I have it on the comfort setting, so I think it's like 85 or 90% let off or something like that. So in the back wall, I'm really only holding like maybe 11 pounds, 12 pounds, something like that. And I think it's set at like 20 pounds fire, so I really have to pull into the back wall to get it to fire. So I'm gonna have to adjust this one, but this is the newest release in my arsenal, and it's quickly becoming my favorite. I love this release. So at any rate, I'm gonna do quite a bit of more shooting here, and then once we get done with that, we'll head back into my home archery shop, and we'll do some talking and we'll do some comparisons.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range, cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter.
Alright, so we're back in the shop now. So let's go ahead and get my notes on these releases and talk about them for just a few minutes, okay? So the first up, that Scott Wildcat 2 index release. Rock solid release. The actual wrist strap is genuine leather. It's pretty sturdy. Inside is a nice neoprene. The actual rod length is adjustable, so that's kind of nice. And the trigger pull on this is super fantastic. It is really, really, really nice. And it is just a single caliper, so it's just the one jaw on the one side that opens and closes. So less chance for mechanical failure inside of it, I feel like. So rock solid release. Like I said, this is the oldest release in my arsenal. I don't really use it anymore. And it kind of just, I don't want to say takes up space, but I guess it's more like nostalgic, I guess, if you will. I don't see myself ever really getting rid of it, just because it comes in nice, comes in handy for a backup release. And then the next one was that Spot Hogg Whippersnapper, super hair trigger on this. One of the things I do like, two things that I really do like about this, is that it's a nice sturdy forefinger, but it's also extremely quiet and extremely smooth. So compared to the other thumb releases I have here, so like the Tru Ball Boss X, very loud click. The Nock-On, pretty loud click. But the Whippersnapper, just extremely quiet, extremely quiet. So that's kind of a nice aspect to it. And then, like I said, kind of another thing, that trigger is real smooth and it's got a nice crisp, clean break. Overall, it's a pretty good release. I'm just not a fan of the fact that I cannot adjust it, because from the factory, my little adjustment screw was stripped out. So, but overall, it's decent. It's okay. And then we had the Tru Ball Boss X. Like I said, they don't make this anymore, but it's a rock solid release. There is super quick and easy adjustments just right here. Loosen the lock one, turn the other one, and you can adjust your travel or your tension and whatnot in your trigger. Super nice. This is probably the second longest one I've had in my arsenal, and I don't see myself ever really getting rid of this one. One of the bigger things I do like about it is the swivel head, so it doesn't add any extra torque onto that D-loop or string or anything like that. I'm not sure if that would matter, but for me it's kind of an extra little mental thing. So real big fan of this release. And then we had the Nock-On Nock to it. Feels okay in the hand. I wish this little third finger area was a little bit bigger. Mine feels like it's always going to just slide off that little nubbin on the end. It does have a nice secure feeling when I put it over the D-loop. I don't feel like my D-loop is really going to come out of there or anything like that. Not really that it matters, but it's just an extra, again, security thing. It's nice, just one little adjustment in the end there to adjust the tension on this. And it's got that nice big thumb barrel, so it can get real deep into that thumb crease down there for me. On the draw, feels really good. And then on the shot, feels really good. But I just feel like there's other better releases out there. And then we had the UltraView Hinge 2. I never used the original Hinge. This is actually the first hinge release that I've ever even attempted to use. And like I said, I'm still getting used to it. It is super top quality built. I mean, this thing is super nice. The fit and finish is amazing. The feel and the weight in the hand is amazing. I think it's just more of me getting used to the actual shot process with a hinge, but this thing is top quality, and I'm gonna put some more time in, and I'm gonna see if I can kind of perfect the hinge release. So this one is also gonna stay in the arsenal. I don't think this is ever gonna go anywhere. And then finally, that leads us with the Carter Evolution 20. Super nice release. The fit and finish, top notch. One of the things that I'm not a fan of is that when I ordered this, I thought it was going to come in blue, and it showed up in this dark red. I'm okay. I don't mind about the color, but on some of the Carter releases, like on LancasterArchery.com, it states, you know, cannot guarantee color and all that kind of stuff. But on this one, it didn't say that. So I thought I was going to get it in blue. Ended up coming up in this dark red, which is okay. But I think I would have preferred the blue over this one. But that's just kind of personal preference. As far as adjustment, super easy. So there is a little locking Allen head on this side, and then the actual adjustment for the actual poundage is right in here. There's not a chart that says like how many turns from here or whatever is going to equal the poundage of your bow, so it's really something you just have to play around with. If you end up going this route for a back tension, just really remember about that safety and make sure you're on target before you release that safety, because if you're set too low, this thing absolutely will fire as soon as you let that safety go. I found out the hard way. So but super big fan of this release. This is quickly becoming one of my new favorite releases, but I just need to do some more practice with it to perfect it. But at any rate, that's going to kind of do it for me today. I sure do appreciate y'all stopping by today. We are going to have some gear reviews coming up and things of that nature, so please don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit that bell notification so that you know anytime I release a new video. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget, be a good predator.